Hey everybody, we're back on week 3 of the Unseen Realm documentary by Dr. Michael Heiser, and I wanted to first off let you know that be praying for him. I'm not even sure what his condition is as of today, but he was on his deathbed. He has pancreatic cancer and has been really struggling the past year. So if you've been blessed by his work, and I know I have, I actually teared up, to be honest with you, when I heard a couple days ago about it. But please be praying for him. But I hope you've been blessed. Thank you for those that have reached out and let me know. I would encourage you to put that down in the comments and to give me a like or subscribe on this, just so that other people would see that it has value. And I pray that you're not discouraged if you went ahead. I know that we had linked the full documentary. If you want to go ahead, have at it. I'm blessed by that because the documentary is so well done. But I wanted to give you piece, bite-sized elements because all this is deep. And one time alone looking through this won't take care of it. So this third part, it's going to start off talking about the freedom of the will. And here's something that I want to say to everybody. We get caught up, I believe sometimes, in the idea that God is sovereign in my disobedience. In essence, what it is like, well, this is just the way it was meant to be. And if you recall the sort of the get the hell out motif, the idea is really that I am charged with doing all that I can do by the grace of God and his Spirit to remove any hindrance within me, any hindrance, so that my will becomes aligned with God's will. So we have direct ownership of the direction that our Christian walk goes. And I hope that you will find encouragement in this as you understand that our war is not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers. And I just pray that you understand that your free will impacts whether you're drawing closer to Jesus or drawing further away, whether you're feeling his power or feeling he's distant. So let's go ahead and delve into week 3.
Obviously, the world isn't like Eden. People don't treat each other as equal imagers of God. Not even close. What happened? The answer lies in God's decision to share his attributes with both his supernatural and human children. And one of those attributes is freedom, or free will. It is freedom, not mere intelligence, that allows for meaningful choices. God didn't program his children like robots. If he did, wouldn't truly be like him. Having freedom meant God's children might choose to rebel. That's what happened.
Remember, we don't have God's perfect nature, even though both humans and the heavenly sons of God represent him in their respective realm. God tells us in Job 15 that he doesn't trust his holy ones. He knows they can fail.
Look, he does not trust his holy ones, and the heavens are not clean in his eyes.
Eden was the home and headquarters of God. His supernatural and earthly families resided there. God wanted them to image him in their own ways. Heaven and earth blended together into one family, but one family member didn't like that idea.
We've all heard about the serpent in Eden, but why a serpent? What's that supposed to tell us? Ancient people knew how to take this scene, but we don't. We assume the serpent is merely an animal. His form is important, but the story is not about zoology. The story is about a supernatural rebellion. Isaiah alludes to that rebellion.
I will raise up my throne above the stars of God, and I will sit on the mountain of assembly. I will make myself like the Most High.
Isaiah is talking about the sons of God in the assembly. Just like Job, he refers to them as stars. They were present before Eden. Ezekiel 28 mentions the rebellion in Eden as well. In Ezekiel's case, a guardian cherub gets kicked out of Eden.
You were an anointed guardian cherub, and I placed you on God's holy mountain. You walked in the midst of stones of fire.
Ancient Mesopotamian tablets talk about cherub throne guardians and describe them as snakes and dragons. The Serpent of Eden was actually a supernatural being whose job was to guard God's throne. An ancient person would have known the scene was about a rebel in the divine council.
So before we go a little further in here, I want to just, did you read what the verses said about how God's heavenly host, he did not trust them? That they weren't completely after his nature, in the sense that they were capable of sin. And so when there's distrust in, and so you have the celestial beings that God didn't trust, but he had some that he did trust, and then you have the terrestrial beings that God doesn't trust, and yet he does trust some. You know, and we see this, I believe, in churches. We see this when churches, when people let power go to their head and they let control and popularity and all these things go in, we see, I believe, where God says pride is something that creates it's the thing he hates the most. It's the thing that just separates us from God, because we think that we can become like God. And that's what the snake did.
Like the supernatural rebel, Adam and Eve rebelled too. Eden was lost. The rebel security guard was cast down. He brought death to earth, and now everyone would die. He became Lord of the dead. Since everyone would die, humanity would be his. Now, most people know the basics of that story. Christians believe it's why the world is the way it is. But that's actually incomplete. What happened in Eden was just the first of 3 reasons why there's so much evil and death in the world. There were actually 2 more supernatural rebellions.
Now, next week is going to go into the supernatural rebellions that took place. And I just want to prepare you, because Christianity has always focused on the fall in the garden, and it's to be focused on. It's something that we should focus on, but there's more to focus on, and I would say that more gets skipped over or glossed over or simplified to a Sunday school teaching. And we're going to hit some things that I believe in this documentary, especially as we move forward, that will begin to go, oh, it's going to be uncomfortable. And I don't want the lack of comfort to cause you to run away from it. I wanted to draw you in, because this has some significant depth to it, and it can help you understand the battle that we're in, and it can allow you to see that, okay, this whole warfare that I'm in is real, and there are real beings that I'm warring against, and that I have God in heaven who is with me, and I have his spirit, and so I am not to be afraid. So again, if you want to go ahead and watch the whole documentary, please do. But if not, just tune in next week and we'll put up number 4. Have a great day.